Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Welcome back to the Blissful Athlete, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're talking about happiness is bullshit. And I apologize for the language, but it is the truth that happiness is bullshit. Just as sadness and depression and anxiety, happiness, joy, all of these emotions can be clumped in together in the same field, and that is that they are impermanent. If you do not know who I am, my name is Sri Nithya Dridhananda. I'm an ordained Nityananda Yoga Acharya, blessed by my guru, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. I spent 3 years in India living under my master, and I've learned so much and embraced so much, not only of his teachings, but also Sanatana Hindu Dharma as well. And the biggest thing that I've really cognized, I would say, is the impermanence of life, the impermanence of the reality that we live in. And just to set the context of what is life, why is happiness bullshit? It all starts with what is life? You are not a human being. You are in a human being body. You are the individual soul. If I chop off your hand in this moment, you are still you. If I take a little bit of your brain, you are still you. You can see your mind function. It means you're also not your mind. You are conscious awareness. You are not a human being. You are conscious awareness. And what science shows is that everything in our universe is consciousness. They refer to it as the unified field. With this understanding that everything is consciousness, that includes you, this leads us to understand that this is what every enlightened master teaches us, that we are not just this individual. Self-realization, enlightenment, understanding that you are God. You are the divine. You are this infinite unified field of consciousness. Anything that you experience in this reality, in this three-dimensional world, is impermanent. The brain can comprehend 11 dimensions. There are 11 dimensions of existence that science proves. This is just the three-dimensional world. When we die, when we move on, it is not that we die. All that happens is that we take on a different form. Our consciousness no longer operates in this vehicle, this avatar. You are a divine being locked into this human experience. What some scientists believe as maybe the greatest holographic computer game that has ever been created. And it was created by the divine, by Paramashiva, as we refer to him in Sanskrit. Happiness and sadness are delusion and illusion. They are not real. When you experience sadness, it is because you're holding on to something, some pattern, some cognition. When you're a child, somebody taking away your toy, you're sad because of that. But then somebody giving you an ice cream, you're happy because of that. The result is what? That you're stuck in this balance of, am I happy or sad, based off of something external. But the truth is that everything that you see outside of you is just dead matter. It's 99.999% empty space. It means that it is impermanent. It is not real. It seems real. Like this computer, this screen feels real. This microphone feels real. Like this glass feels real. But in actuality, when we're experiencing pain, the only thing that makes it real is that we hold on to the pain. We hold on to the things that make us angry, stressed out, fearful, anything. We just hold on to it. And you can hold on to a glass of water for a really long time. When you hold it up, you've ever tested out where you hold up a glass of water, a minute, no problem. But when you hold it longer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it can become excruciating. And that's exactly what we experience in our day-to-day life. We hold on to certain things that bring us down. Happiness is the same thing. It's an illusion. We hold on to something outside of us that makes us happy. But again, it's impermanent. Everybody thinks that we're seeking happiness, that everybody just wants to be peaceful and happy. But I would say that is bullshit. That is not true at all. What we are seeking is our true, authentic nature, which is bliss. Bliss is permanent. It is eternal. It is the fragrance of God. It is the taste of the divine itself. Happiness comes and goes. Bliss is always there. That's why you can just sit, connect to God in whatever form, whatever way you can connect to him or her if you connect to a goddess. And it is always there. You can always connect with them because they are beyond this three-dimensional world, this three-dimensional universe. You can't do that, but you can't hold on to happiness. So when it's like we're chasing life with a carrot in front of us, right? So all you need to do is understand in this game of life, if you're struggling with anything, whether it's stress, anxiety, a depression, I know exactly what you're going through, especially during this pralaya, this COVID-19 pandemic. The world that we live in is so crazy and it's so difficult for a lot of people to keep their heads above water. I totally understand that. I've gone through my own things as well. All you need to know is that it is possible for you to experience the divine in this moment, right now. And the only thing blocking you from doing that is mind. We hold on to certain cognitions, certain beliefs, whether long-term or just in the moment. We find an excuse, a reason why we can't connect to the divine, why we can't connect to God. I've got this going on, or I've got, this relationship bothering me. But the truth is, nothing else exists. Nothing else exists in the universe. I'm only speaking to myself right now. You watching this, you listening to this are me. I am you. There is no separation. My guru beautifully said the other day, if you look out in the ocean and you see islands, pocket of islands, right? Whether it's Hawaii or Australia, it seems like they're islands. But deep down, at the very bottom of the ocean, even all of the islands are connected. We are living in the same reality, that it seems as if we are separate, that you and I are different, that you're an individual and they're an individual. But the truth is that beneath all of this matter that we see, we are intimately connected. You and I are the same land. We are the same consciousness. That is the awakening. That is the great awakening that is happening. And when we lose this cognition, when we forget about this profound tattva, spiritual principle, what happens is we get caught up in the delusion of life, or the illusion of happiness and the delusion of depression. Everything in life happens through us, to us, through relationships. Relationships have their purpose in order for us to understand who we truly are deep down. That is the only purpose of this three-dimensional world. Everything is a big lila, a big divine play for you to understand that you are the divine, that the purpose of life is to go completely beyond this cognition that you are a human being looking for happiness. A lot of people have asked me lately, why do I wear this white ash, this sacred ash, or this white powder. They don't know that it's sacred. Why do I wear this white powder on me? It's known as bhasma, or also known as vibhuti. It is a sacred ash in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And when you apply it onto your body, you do so understanding, you remember Shiva, you remember the divine, but you remember that one day this body too will turn to ashes. That this body is also impermanent. And when you apply the ash every morning before yoga or every day, continuously throughout the day, it is again and again there to remind you that everything is impermanent. Pain and suffering is only a result of us holding on to something. Happiness is this illusion of bliss, really. We feel that it is bliss because in the moment it feels so good and it feels like it could be bliss. But bliss is always there. Bliss is something that you should be able to just, even beyond close your eyes, you should be able to just sit there and connect and understand that you are the divine. That you are so much more than this human body. And just your very breath of breathing in through your nose, that should feel good. You should be able to feel bliss just through inhalation and exhalation, finding Shiva, who he says resides in that gap between the inhalation and exhalation and inhalation. Life is about finding that bliss, tapping into your own bliss, ananda, and understanding that your very nature is eternal bliss, nitya ananda. So all I can say is that today's message, I got to a point where, I was telling a friend that I wanted them to be happy. And I realized that that's not what I want for them at all, because happiness can lead us down an illusion. We can see something outside of us and think, oh, I'll get happiness from that. And so that we start pursuing that thing externally. But what happens when we grab onto it? Well, we can't hold on to it forever. It's already dead matter, right? And you are an eternal conscious being. Nothing outside of you will ever satisfy your soul the way that connecting to the divine will complete you. The solution to any of life's suffering, to any of our disappointments once we achieve something and achieve this temporary happiness, is always the same. And that is that you are the divine. You are Padma Shiva. And that anything that happens outside of you is a bonus if it enriches you in some way, or it is something to just completely let go of and unclutch from if it tries to weigh you down, reduce your vibration, as some might say. Understand that you are the divine. You are Padma Shiva. You can connect in any moment. You can enjoy the bliss that is with us in any moment. And I get it. I can say myself, I am not there 24/7. You are enlightened if you are in that space. But the more that you develop certain practices like meditation, various different kriyas, yoga, listening to the enlightened masters, whether that's reading or watching their discourses. Every morning I'm watching my guru's satsang. These very simple spiritual sadhana, spiritual practices, is all it takes for us to continuously get ourselves to that space of eternal bliss. But we need to realize that it is a practice, that you will face something that completely slaps you in the face and makes you question everything going on in your life. The truth is, anything that comes outside of you is only going to lead to suffering at some point. If you are relying on something for happiness and you get addicted to it, you become a victim to that external thing. It will eventually make you feel suffering. That is a law of life. At some point, that will happen. The process of life is to go on and clutching again and again and again. If something happens that's negative, let's say, makes us feel depressed, sad, whatever, unclutch. If it makes us feel happy, that's great, unclutch. That is the journey, that is the path that we are all walking down. So with that, I'll end today's session. If somebody has some questions, I'll look through the questions. I said we'll make this a live Q&A. So feel free to leave your comments, and I'll do my best to get to all those. Kurma, glad that you felt connected. Om in space. I love that name. Sri Hari Om. Sir, please, how to open third eye? Attend Padma Shivoham. I'm going to do a video specifically on this, how to open third eye in 2020. Highly recommend watching that when it comes out. The immediate answer is to attend a program called padmashivoham.org, 16-day online program conducted by an enlightened avatar. If you want to awaken your third eye, you don't listen to the small YouTubers like myself that barely understand what third eye is, and because that's the truth. No other influencer is going to tell you this, but they barely understand what third eye is. I barely understand what third eye is. You don't truly know what a fully awakened third eye is until you're completely enlightened. So you go to the enlightened masters. You get that candle lit from another candle. What do I think about Jesus? Ryan's asking. I think Jesus was an enlightened master as well. And I think he was trained for this period of, I think, what was it, when he was 12 to 33, something like that. I don't know a ton of his background. I did a little bit of research in Christianity on my awakening. Loved everything that he taught, not necessarily it was in the Bible, but I think he was an enlightened master, and I think he was trained in India by some guru. I don't know who. And I would compare Jesus and Buddha, actually. These were enlightened beings that were trained, were disciples of some guru, or in Buddha's case, supposedly it's just spontaneous through meditation, but a religion developed around just that one being. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is, there's all of these enlightened beings, and they are all under this one umbrella. And there's different sects that have evolved and different paths that have evolved from that. Happy Navaratri to everybody. Yes, true, mysterious ghost stories. Happy Navaratri. Today and the next 8 days is the time to connect to the Divine Mother. So if you want to feel connected to the Divine, if you want to drop self-doubt, if you want to drop sadness, depression, anything, in this moment, it can be dropped by just connecting to the Divine as your mother. We all have a mother, right? We all have a mother. How do you feel when you think about your mom? Like they were there for you 24/7. You wouldn't be alive unless your mom took full responsibility for you, right? We can all agree on that. You wouldn't be alive unless your mother took full responsibility for you, at least to a certain age, right? Some of us may have a less kind childhood, but understand that you wouldn't be here unless somebody expressed a very strong motherliness to you when you were most vulnerable. We are the most vulnerable ever on this planet. We're all walking around thinking that, I'm this human being and I'm this ego and, I know everything. I've got everything figured out. But the truth is we don't have anything figured out. And we're on this planet in this ball somewhere in the universe, and we have no idea how to get out of this, in a way, prison 3D dimension. The truth is that's what an enlightened master is there for. That's what a guru is here for. It's like if I sent you to the other side of the world, blindfolded you, sent you to the other side of the world, would you know how to get yourself back without any technology, etc.? Probably not. It's the same way. Guru is your GPS system. The guru guidance system. They get you to where it is that we need to go, which is to that fourth dimension, right? We need to understand that the guru, the master, is the one that takes us there, that guides us there. Jesus and Buddha were great masters, but every enlightened master, as per Sanatana Hindu Dharma, once they leave the body, they pass you on to eventually a master that is in the body. And that's why we should follow a living guru, the Guru Parampara, the Guru Shishya, disciple to master, or master to disciple, the succession of master to disciple, teaching disciple, that disciple becoming master, so forth. That is so important. It is it's the most important aspect of Sanatana Hindu Dharma's survival, especially with all of the attacks recently, which I mentioned this in a recent video. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. LJ, so fear is a choice. Yes, everything is ultimately a choice. So whatever you're feeling and experiencing, that is your choice. You can choose enlightenment in this moment as well. Wrap your head around that one. Is being bliss enough? For me, I think it is, that nothing else matters. MT, I would say once you're in the state of bliss, nothing else fulfills you. Like I've mentioned a lot of times, if you have not yet seen my video of me talking about my experience of enlightenment under a banyan tree in my guru's ashram, I was just, and I love telling the story now. I always tell the story because I was just like, frozen. I couldn't move. I was overwhelmed with absolute joy, love, like just pouring out of me. I could not move my finger the tiniest bit because I was that much feeling bliss. Nothing else outside, outside did not exist. It was just, I am bliss, and it is infinite. It is everywhere. And so there's nothing else that could be added in. The only thing that we need is to just somehow keep this body alive for us to experience it in this moment. And what a lot of yogis have proven is that you don't even need food. You don't need something externally for that to happen. And that's why I'm doing this liquid only diet journey called Nirahara Samyama, where it's literally an initiation into learning how to transfuse or take energy from sources like the sun, the air, all the other elements other than earth element and water element. And so being bliss is enough. It is enough. It's just, it is. It's a really good question, though. I'm glad you asked that, MT. Calvin West, thanks for creating this space, encouragement more and more. I see how every environment we entertain sharpens is like iron on iron. Yeah. Surround yourself with people that are supporting your conscious evolution. I can't stress that enough. The more you surround yourself with people that support your negative patterns, that support your depression, you're digging your own grave in a sense. Always surround yourself with people that increase the powerful cognitions in you. That's the importance of Sangha, spiritual community, allowing you to grow and expand to help you through challenging times so you can experience yourself as you truly are, which is the divine. So it's great to have family and friends that maybe aren't on the same path as you. I would say take their advice with a heavy grain of salt, because somebody from a state of consciousness that believes that, look, you just need to get a good career. You just need to find a good girlfriend. You just need to, get that, whatever it is that you've been wanting. You just need to go on that vacation. They're coming from a space that is deep love, but with limited information that is extremely important. Information that is, you are the divine. You are eternal consciousness. Is that thing outside of you really going to satisfy the divine, infinite being that you truly are? Probably not. Is this cognition that you're chewing on, is it leading you down more negative thoughts? Is it that type of thought current? Is it something that should be chopped off and unclutched from, and now take on this new cognition that, look, you are powerful. You can achieve anything that you want. Is that the type of cognition that you should embrace? So who you take your advice from, especially in times of depression, doubt, low mood, is so important, because you're a very fragile being at that time. You're open to a lot of information, just like the subconscious mind is open to information at certain ages in our evolution or states of mind when we're watching TV and we're just knocked out, your subconscious mind's opened up. Be careful of those moments. What are you watching? What are you listening to? Because that's going into the subconscious mind for you to then project out into reality. Everything is a projection of your inner space. So if you surround yourself with people that you want to have more of in your own inner space and express more of in other dimensions of your life, that is empowering. If you surround yourself with beings that are acting and giving advice based off of an old identity of yourself that you're trying to get released from, that's a dangerous thing. So just be aware. There's nothing wrong with it, but just be aware. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, everybody. I'm just seeing a lot of messages. Thank you so much that's everybody been here. Marias, I'm crying now. You spoke about mothers. My mother passed away in 2016. Blessings to your mother, Marias. Just really meditate on that space of gratitude of what she did for you. Sit and be thankful for that. And then project that same love and devotion that your mother gave to you into the cosmos, into the infinite. Because it's really true, everybody. Like, we were completely susceptible to life. But because we had a mother that raised us and took care of us and fed us, nurtured us, gave us shelter, unless we had that, we would all be dead. Unless you are being held by the divine as well, you would not be existing in this moment. Be grateful for that. Be grateful to the divine. That is what this Navaratri is about. Connecting to Devi, the divine mother. It's such a powerful technique. This was the technique that my guru, this was the path that he used on his enlightenment. And this is a really simple and powerful meditation. If you just sit and think about your mother and just get in that space of gratitude to your mom. That is all you need, because that same space projected on the divine is all it takes. LJ, thanks for coming. Divesh, is it important to grow hair if we are on spiritual path? Long hair is a direct tie to higher intuition. There's a reason why jettas is something that is always worn in various different indigenous communities, spiritual communities as well. Long hair, like even if you, the natives, there's a really interesting story in the mid 1800s. There was some tracker natives that were looking for, I can't remember what, but they were told to cut off all their hair, and so they had short hair, and their tracking ability diminished completely. So they were eventually told they were allowed to grow their long hair back, and their tracking ability had come back. Intuition is directly tied to long hair. Higher states of consciousness is directly tied to longer hair. When you tie your hair up on top of your Sahasrara chakra, on top of your head, that weight, if you have jettas, if you have long hair, you know exactly what I mean. Your presence is just naturally here. Your consciousness is kind of, there's a space within you that's always just held here. When it's there on the Sahasrara chakra, it leads to a higher state of awareness as well. So 100% long hair is tied to a spiritual evolution, I would say. Zen's asking if I could do a video on what to consume in a day. I will. Yes, I'll make a note of that. Devesh, is it important to already answer that? How to be consistent with meditation. Choose a time before you go to bed tonight that works for you every day and be integrated to it. Don't get crazy and say you got to meditate for an hour or 2 hours. Just sit down. I'm going to do it for 15 minutes at this time every day. If you can do it for 30 minutes total every day, that's ideal. But just be integrated to one time and make that a priority. It's as simple as integrity. Awesome. Okay. So with that, we're just under 30 minutes. I didn't want to go too long for everybody. I appreciate everybody showing up. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. It helps other people find this video as well. And if you're new to the channel, hit the bell icon or hit subscribe and the bell icon, because you'll get notified when I do go live and post other videos. And I really always am taking feedback on what type of videos you want to see, because I really am just creating whatever. So I appreciate any feedback and comments that you guys leave. So please continue to leave those. It means a lot. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If I didn't mention your name, LJ, I just saw a bunch from you. Crash Evil as well. Mohan, thank you, everybody. Bimochan, Christina, everybody, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you guys on future videos. Be blissful. Remember, you are the divine. In any moment, you can cut through whatever the mind is putting in front of you. You can clear it away, whether it's a negative delusion of depression or a positive illusion of happiness. You are the eternal consciousness. You are eternal bliss. You are Nitya Ananda. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. Nityananda.